In 1964, Jonathan Kozol walked into a fourth-grade classroom in Boston carrying the confidence of achievement. He was a Harvard graduate, a Rhodes Scholar, and a young teacher ready to make a difference. But within minutes, the room stripped him of certainty. The textbooks were falling apart in the children's hands. Pages were missing, covers barely held together. Some books were so old they had been used by generations before these students were born. There were not enough to go around. 3 children shared a single text. Some students were placed in makeshift rooms created from storage spaces because the building had run out of classrooms. Then Kozol noticed something that unsettled him deeply. Children who looked like him were encouraged. Children who did not were quietly separated, labeled as slow or difficult before they had reached 10 years old. These labels followed them. Over time, they shaped expectations. Expectations hardened into outcomes. One afternoon, Kozol taught a poem by Langston Hughes. It was a simple poem about dreams, dignity, and hope. The students responded with curiosity and light. The next morning, he was called into an office and dismissed from his position. The official explanation was unauthorized curriculum. The deeper message was unmistakable. These children were not meant to imagine more. That night, Kozol wrote a sentence that would define his future. If he remained silent, he would become part of the harm. He chose not to leave. Instead, he went further in. Kozol entered neighborhoods that institutions had abandoned. He sat at kitchen tables with parents who worked multiple jobs and still could not afford school supplies. He listened to mothers who pleaded for teachers to see their children as human beings, not statistics shaped by zip codes. He recorded everything: crumbling walls, broken promises, children who learned early that society expected little from them. In 1967, he published Death at an Early Age. The book exposed realities many Americans preferred to not see. It won the National Book Award in 1968 and forced a national reckoning. Segregation had not disappeared. It had adapted, hiding within funding systems, district lines, and property taxes. Kozol continued his work for decades. He visited schools in the South Bronx, Chicago, Philadelphia, Camden, and East St. Louis. He saw leaking ceilings, broken windows, and overcrowded rooms where children tried to learn under conditions no society should accept. The pattern was always the same. Wealthy districts offered laboratories, music programs, art rooms, and technology. Poor districts offered scarcity. The distance between them was sometimes only a few miles. Kozol transformed these truths into books like Savage Inequalities, Amazing Grace, and The Shame of the Nation. Each asked the same question with growing urgency. Why does a wealthy nation provide the most to those who need it least? Critics called him emotional. He accepted the label. He believed that indifference was the greater danger. Jonathan Kozol did not plan to become a voice for unseen children. He only wanted to teach a poem. But the injustice he witnessed demanded a lifetime of response. The question he raised still waits for an answer. If equality matters, why do our schools so clearly show that it does not?